welcome to the Risk It for the Biscuit podcast. I'm Adam Bush here with my pal Chris Munch.
Right here.
We are a couple of guys who had a great job working, a very long time career working in a church, and we both stepped out a couple of years ago to risk it for the biscuit and pursue performing, comedy, acting, a career in the arts. I'm a stand-up comedian. My pal Chris here is an actor and a comic. And we are here alongside our very best pal, producer Gary. Who has a very similar story in that worked at the same place and left to pursue his business, which is the business of creativity.
And multimedia,
video production.
Specializing in multimedia presentations.
Risk It for the Biscuit is sponsored in part by Northern Creative, which is Gary's company. They do video projects, everything from video work to curriculum to art and animation. And you can find more info at northern.work. Gary is very good. As I say, good. Best in the biz.
Best in the biz. He did the artwork for
Risk It
for the Biscuit podcast. Yeah. So if you like that little
he did the artwork for the shirt that you are wearing.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't.
Oh,
he didn't. Just kidding.
I didn't really like this anyways. I thought it was kind of lame.
So in this podcast,
just a word.
Risk It for the Biscuit follows our journey as friends, and we talk a lot about the world of performing and comedy.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today we have got a really good episode for you. We are going to talk about how much Chris's life sucks. It sucks.
Just gonna complain.
Find someplace comfortable.
We're gonna be here.
It's gonna be a long one.
Gonna be here a minute.
Yeah.
I just want a chance to lament.
Just in post-Easter. Post-Easter. So Chris and I were having a conversation the other day we'll just focus on Chris for a while. Chris makes his living as an actor. You've done very well with some characters on TikTok and Instagram and sell personal greetings.
That's right.
On Cameo.
That's right.
You have merch. You can find all of it at chrismunchcomedy.com or Instagram and TikTok at chrismunchcomedy. And the thing about, I've experienced this as well, as I'm sure Gary has, when you're self-employed, as we are, there's a lot of different ways you can go and you don't always know what to do. And so you jumped into doing characters a little over a year ago. It blew up on TikTok, specifically with your character, Steven Stevens. A little hello from Steven Stevens.
Hey guys, thanks for joining.
And from there, you were able to make this lucrative for you and your family. And so you've been doing this.
Lucrative, that sounds like.
You've been...
No, I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
I'm no complaints.
Full of greed.
Well, when did you hit $1 million? What did you buy with your first $1 million?
Yeah, right.
So we were talking on the phone the other day. You're kind of like, what am I supposed to do next?
Yeah.
Do I just do this? Do I do more characters? So, Chris, what are you feeling?
Yes.
What's going on inside of Christopher?
No, it's interesting. It's interesting to me.
I think it's also very relatable because anyone who's working anywhere, you're just sort of like, is this what I'm doing?
Well, and I don't know. You come out of a job or where you have leaders and you have people who are setting kind of direction of where
you worked at a church for 22 years.
22 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get kind of used to someone going, this is where we're taking this thing or whatever. This is what we want to do. Yeah. And you just kind of fall in line with where that is. And so now you're in a position that I've absolutely loved, actually. Kind of surprisingly, I've really enjoyed.
Yes. We've all been surprised.
Yeah. being an entrepreneur, running my own business or whatever. I've really enjoyed it. But then there are the aspects of just what is the right next move, or how do I progress from here? And so for me, the biggest thing is my characters are doing well on social media and acting. I've always loved acting. But then this kind of stand-up comedy stuff, performing live in places is also something I really enjoy. I don't think I'm as good at that as I am the characters, but I really have a dream to travel and do shows and to I would love to create a hour-long show that I could do at different places, churches or wherever.
Yeah.
And so I really want to take steps in that direction. But man, social media presence, that's a business. Like there's tons to do. There's plenty to do if all I did was just focus on building a social media channel.
Right.
And, could do really well and provide for my family just doing that. So I think that's where some of man, what should I do? I have a sneaking suspicion though that my wife Lisa and we talk about it. Just like I don't think if all I did was social media, I don't think that would be as fulfilling to me. I think I would eventually just be kind of like, I want to do more.
Yes.
And so that's where it's like, okay, that tension of wanting to take steps to grow in my live performing ability and my craft, but also needing to pay the bills and earn a living. And so it's like, you got to feed that engine too.
Right. Yeah.
Cause live stuff, isn't as lucrative, to borrow a word from you.
I didn't make up the word. I also borrowed it.
No. Yeah. So it's,
it is interesting when you're getting in, like when I got into comedy, like the beginning is just getting into it. Mm-hmm. And so then people start following me online and I start booking shows. Mm-hmm. Well, now I got to keep that going, but also I'm trying to look ahead at where am I going from there? Because I can't just kind of rest on the morals of what I have done. Like I'm trying to maintain what I'm doing and also build.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're saying. That's
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then just also the volatility of social media and TikTok, and everybody's talking about TikTok getting shut down and banned in the United States and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of just like,
that would be detrimental to you.
It would be, yeah. But I don't know. I'm not worried about it because I don't know. I feel like it came out of nowhere to begin with. My confidence is in a greater source than TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. The Chinese government.
That's who your confidence is in.
My confidence is in China.
So really you'll be moving to China.
Yeah.
China really never has steered us wrong.
No.
If you think about it.
Faithful supporter.
Yeah.
You're going to get this podcast flagged.
Yeah, this might be bad. This is going to be bad for the algorithm.
We're a big fan of all countries.
We love everyone.
We love everyone.
We love all people.
Yeah.
Especially America.
Yeah, so that's kind of been the season I'm in right now, is kind of going, how do I navigate through this? And like some of the live show stuff is just more painful. It's like, it's scarier. It's like, I know what I'm doing on social media is working, but to go try new things in a live setting it's scary.
Yeah. I totally, I think a lot of people would like, it's a little different because you're like, your paycheck comes from like, you have to do well. Like, you have to have a return on your investment, like your time, right.
I don't get paid any money for the views. So it's like, oh, this thing had a few 100,000 views. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. It doesn't change my bank account.
Right.
Unless I have things in place that can funnel those people to buy things from me.
Chris could use your money, everyone. And that's what we're here to say. If you could just $1.
Boy, I could use a shot in the arm.
It's a cup of coffee a day. And if you could send him that.
For just a few cents a day.
It is. I was working on this joke for a while, like a cup of coffee. Like it used to be like for just a cup of coffee a day. You're like, coffee's about $3. So that's a lot of. That's actually you're asking me for quite a bit. Yeah, Garrett, do you relate? You do a different deal than we do, but do you think about that sort of thing?
No, I don't rely. I don't.
No.
Okay, social media. I don't rely on any converting followers or plays or any of that stuff, but I do go, I'm doing this now. This is working right now.
Yeah.
But one, do I want to be doing this exact thing in 5 years?
Totally.
Or
video
10 years? Video production. Do I want to be sitting in the seat animating, designing, or editing?
Yeah.
Or on set somewhere filming, like being the person that's, got his butt in the seat or hand on the camera or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about what's next. Like, how do I let somebody else kind of do that? Like, the future isn't me continuing to do all this. It's helping others do it.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So that's where that's my next step is like, how do I empower others to do what I'm doing well and give them a kind of a platform to move on to whatever their next thing is.
All the while working on the video project that you currently have to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Finding the time to prioritize your future and not just the moment.
Yeah. You know, I like to say it's called working on your business, not working in your business.
Come on.
Yeah, which our friend, Jordan Smith, he's a dentist and doesn't work on Fridays. And it's simply for that reason. It's like,
he works on Friday, but
their business, the dentist office is closed on Fridays.
Yeah, he's not
because
doing dental
he's working
work
on it, not in it.
Are you thinking about doing that?
I thought about how can I do that? Is that a daily thing or is it It seems more effective to do it a day, like take a huge chunk of time to do it, rather than like I'm not going to prioritize my morning.
Right.
I feel like my schedule is I feel like I spend a lot of time working on the business, the actual work of the business. The performing, it doesn't really take that long in the grand scheme of things, but I guess it's more like planning and like.
No, I think you're right. I had a friend who was a working actor, and she had several commercials that were national and did really well.
Yeah,
I've mentioned this before, but Colleen Ryan, and she said, I act like 5 days a year.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I don't. But you know what sounds awesome is the paycheck. But I love performing so much.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, Diana would disagree, but if you're like, I'll give you $1,000 to do one show, or you can do 20 for free, I'd be like, I kind of want to do the 20 because I just love performing.
Yeah.
So I'm just a purist.
Yeah, you're just like an artist. You're just like granular.
I just want to get on that stage.
You just like want to get your hands dirty, like in the craft. You know what I mean?
I think he just wants the attention.
Yeah, I mean,
what if the audience was the same amount of people?
Same amount of people, or the exact same people?
The same amount. Like you're going to perform in front of 20,000 people over 20 shows, or 20,000 people in one show.
Ooh, I'd want to do the bulk, the bunch of
the longer.
I say, why not both?
No, hey, there you go. Why not both?
Yeah.
We did a parent-teacher conference with our 4-year-old, and the teacher said, one thing we've noticed about Luna is that if she's not getting attention, she will just accidentally, I'm doing air quotes, fall out of her chair and go, whoops. And I just go, oh, well, her dad's a stand-up comedian, so I think it's going to be a long road for her.
Yup, I fell.
Did anyone see that?
So typically a teacher, I think the thought in that situation is she's not getting enough attention at home.
Ooh.
Oh, shoot.
But so
wow.
Was there any truth to that, or is that just her personality?
I think maybe she gets too much attention. Honestly, because the girl gets a lot of. I mean,
it's backfired.
Yeah,
you need to be okay with not having everybody's attention all the time.
Yeah. That's what I think. I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. You've been gone on a lot of shows.
I have been gone on a lot of shows.
Well, I mean, how often does she do that? Like at school? I mean, she's not causing. I guess she's being disruptive, not bullying another kid.
True. She said the teacher said specifically she does it when a new person is around.
Oh, wow. I relate to that.
So a new teacher comes in, maybe a new aide. He's not getting all the attention. Whoops.
That's so interesting. I feel myself being more tempted to call attention to myself when I'm around new people.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
As in you're trying to earn their approval,
like I'm trying to make them like me or something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I also with Luna, if you know Luna, like she's just She's just kind of amazing.
Yeah,
and it has nothing to do with her parenting as much as just she's a gift from God. She's incredibly extroverted and she's very cute. And so she just gets a lot of attention every time we go out for Dadder Days, and every time just a barrage of people just go, "Oh, that outfit is so cute. Di dresses her really well." She's just like, Luna is very complimentary to people. She will say like, "Oh, I like your dress. I like your name." She told someone that
she's
one
just
time.
she can articulate very well for a girl of her age.
Yeah.
And which is just always so fun.
Yeah. And so, so I think when she's getting so much attention, when she doesn't get it, she's like, whoops. Yeah. Not to tell behind the scenes, but we have technically already recorded this episode of the podcast, but we had a little technical glitch, which never happens.
We run a tight ship here.
We do run a tight ship.
That doesn't happen.
But one of our cameras went down, and so we couldn't post the episode. So we're re-filming it now. And when we were talking about your like dilemma of like, what do I do next? You were really like looking at, I want to do a stage show. Like I want to do, like, would you say it's a one-man show or just I want to do a show?
I mean, yeah, probably more like I'm open to having other people in it. I want it to be an event that like people could come to.
Something that you travel with.
That I would travel with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we were talking, you were just like, I don't even know if stand-up is really what I want to be doing. Since we recorded that, you have you've done more stand-up. So what are you thinking? Are you still kind of thinking like, is stand-up the way I get there, or is it something else, or what is it?
I still feel like I need to do more stand-up, I think, as just an exercise in getting over myself.
Yeah.
Like getting out of my own head.
Yeah.
And going, I think I need to bomb more. Like I really do. Like I think I need to get in some more situations where I'm just...
Well, you're on the right path. Hey-o.
Oh, I need to just be... I don't know. I just get so nervous and I get like, I hope this goes well. And I think what I'm trying to develop is a deeper strength to just go, no matter what happens, like I'm okay.
Yeah. Like
just give what you have to give.
Yeah.
And good. Be okay with it.
Yeah.
And I need to practice that more. I get it up here, but like, actually getting in those rooms where you feel like I don't fit in with these people, they're going to hate this, still really affects me. And I'm like, I want to be free of that. Like I want to be able to just walk into any room and just be able to give what I have to give and be like, oh, they didn't like it. That's okay.
Yeah.
Or they loved it. Great. Cool. But just be more at peace with either outcome and just look at it more of as like a way to serve. And so I just think I have a lot of room to grow there. And I think it's going to make me a better performer. So that's where my mind goes as far as what the stand-up does for me. There's also a part of me that just goes like, I don't know. I think my characters are going to have something to do with like a live show and needing to figure out how to implement my characters into a live setting as well. Like Steven, I've done him a few times live and it works when I'm like talking to a table of people.
Right. Yeah.
But like from the stage, there's a lot less to work with because a huge part of what Steven does is just make people feel uncomfortable by invading their personal space.
Right.
He's too close to the camera. He's making eye contact for way too long. When you're on a stage, you can't make eye contact for like it doesn't read the same way. I can't. I'm not physically close to them. I can't invade their personal space.
Yeah.
Unless I come down off the stage into the crowd, which is what's worked the best. But just from stage, I haven't found it really works as well. Just saying, well, ladies, my goodness, look at all these prospects.
Yeah.
Like a kid in a candy store. Which I think is funny, but
I think it's funny too. But you're just saying in the live environment,
it hasn't connected. So the other part of that could just be that I'm performing for audiences who have no idea who Steven is, and so it's a lot to take in. And so it really is like figuring out how to do that.
Right.
But am I going to do Steven at an open mic? Am I just going to show up as Steven and do like, I don't
Adam
know.
would.
Do what?
Adam would.
I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of throwing it out there. I was like, what if I just did that?
I do think you're just going to have to try things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know this, but Ira Glass said in some video that we watched a long time ago, like, if you want to get from point A to point Z, which is like A is where I am, Z is where I want to be, like the only way that you shorten that distance is through reps.
Yeah.
Like how fast you're going to, if you want to become a better editor, the more you edit, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be. Same thing with this.
I just was like, learn the alphabet.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I do think you're going to have to try.
Yeah.
I think you're going to put yourself in some uncomfortable situations, but I think the result, the win is greater than maybe it might be for me. See, for me, I have like I got one goal, and that is I would, in the style of Mike Birbiglia, Nate Bargatze would be, traveling around the country in theaters, around the world in theaters, doing my one-man, very funny show.
Yeah.
All right. So that's more in the style of Birbiglia. I mentioned Bargatze because he's clean, and I'm the same style of clean. But that's my goal. And that's just like, that's the only place I can go.
Right.
I might write a movie, but I don't do characters. It's not my jam. So I think the path for me to get there is longer, but maybe clearer now. But I think the end result is just like, you like me or you don't. But with you, I feel like you offer something unique that people aren't used to.
Yeah.
And so you'll stand out a lot more. Like with me, I think in the end, you'll be like, I like Nate Bargatze. I like Adam. I go see either one of them. With you, it's be like, well, Chris is the only one that does this. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it is just the only way to figure out how that's going to work in these different settings
Is to do it. Yeah.
To try it.
So the question is, are you going to do it?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to me. I'm even thinking about this Welltown thing.
The showcase that we're doing at Welltown in April.
Actually, would we have already done it by the time this plays?
Well, we might have
Welltown,
done it,
April
but
27th at Welltown.
April 27th, right? April 27th at Welltown.
Yeah.
You're thinking about like, what could you do?
Yeah, I'm just going, well, what if I just did 5 minutes as Steven?
I think you need to start trying it.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
And then talk to us and then report back.
Are there comics that just do a character?
So I'm trying to, there are comics that do singing. They'll grab their guitar and sing.
Yeah.
You're talking about Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Or Borat. I don't know if he did stand up.
Yeah.
But that was on television.
Yeah.
Where we saw that.
Well, and that's the other thing. Or I guess that is kind of where I think maybe like I don't see myself just working myself up through the clubs and then getting, then I get invited to headline or something like that. I think what makes the most sense to me is I build an audience online in the same way that someone would build an audience through a television show or whatever. And then you tour based on the fact that all these people know who you are. Which
you're
I
not
think,
far from.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of if you're going to.
So that's my other question. Okay, so if I am in a room that are coming to see Chris Munch because they like my characters.
Yeah.
And I do those characters, then I feel like it would go well.
Totally.
Yeah.
So do that.
So why? So I guess then I go, well, then is it foolish of me to like, why am I trying to make this work for people who have no idea who these characters are?
So something that you could do is, it's very common, and I can help you do this. Clubs I could call up a club and say, hey, I represent Chris Munch. He's got over 100,000 followers on TikTok, almost 40,000 on Instagram. He's well known for characters, and we'd like to do a special event on a night you have open, and we'll do a door deal with you. And what do you think? And they could say yes or no. If you did that with, the Looney Bin or Bricktown, one of those clubs, they most likely would say yes. And then you'd go in on probably a Sunday night and you'd be promoting it online and see who shows up. Whoever shows up, though, they're there to see you, and then you do and then I open for you, and then you do. You like how I slipped that in there?
Of course, that goes without saying.
Right. Yeah, but you know what I mean? You could do that.
Yeah.
Actually, off camera, I was talking to you about that a little bit. You could see if it works.
Hey, call somebody right now and see where
we're getting behind the scenes. Do the phone call while
they're just like, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't work. Yeah.
But you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't see why a club would say no, because there's just money to be made there.
Yeah.
We should probably do that.
I think, Chris, another thing you could do is just go to a club as a patron. Just go and watch a con.
To see
to a bar,
see how it could work.
Just put yourself in these environments. Yeah. And you go, I belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as a performer. Just you and Lisa.
Yeah.
Just go out to the club.
Listen, I'll tell you, like it's a bit of a culture shock. We grew up performing in churches.
Yeah.
And so when we would go to another church, there's this nice speakers room in the back.
Yeah.
It's quiet. Nobody knows how to get in there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they're under lock and key. And then like now, like I go to a club and I'm hanging out in a room with Kevin Nealon, and like there's a toilet in the same room and it's about 20 by 20. And like the door opens into the room where everybody is watching.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Or a lot. I mean, like our club here in town doesn't even have a green room.
Yeah.
You're just like in the bar, and then you're in the club.
In the club.
They just have a bistro table.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've just not grown up in that world. So
I didn't grow up in it.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
think I grew up in the bars?
No, but I'm saying that's what you've done a really good job of like getting acclimated to what those environments are like and what works in those environments and what doesn't. I still just feel very much a fish out of water.
Yeah, well, I think a big part of that has just been like, I'm a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
I have to perform in a comedy club.
Right.
I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You have been able to perform at so many corporate events and churches that it's many more than me.
Yeah.
That it's you haven't had to. And your online presence is just